What's going on, everybody? Gene Wolf here. So we're gonna do a quick video here, man. I think this is a very important time on this day to do a quick video. Um, we're going through a very severe time on this day. So it's March 27, 2020, and our planet is currently healing. Our ozone layer is healing itself. Our skies are clearing up. Animals are starting to breathe a little bit. Pollution's clearing. Mother Nature is healing right now. Our planet is healing. And so we're actually going through a very powerful spiritual awakening through our planet. And this is a very, very, very important time for everybody, especially you if you're watching this video. Share the video. This is a very important message. Probably one of the most important messages I've ever given. But through isolation, we are faced with some of the toughest times of our life right now. And I say that because through isolation, we start creating anxiety, boredom. We start focusing our energy and stuff towards things that take us away from the most important thing that we should be doing right now: self-growth. Self-growth and asking the questions that we've always wanted to ponder and to find those answers. If you have somebody beside you or somebody that's there that's supporting you, that person, whether you're touching them or talking to them, is in it with you. They're there to help you, and you're there to help each other. This is what we are right now. We're in a position to where we can have an insane golden spiritual awakening. And it just so happens to happen on the beginning of a new decade. It's unfortunate that we're going through this very severe time in regards to dealing with this coronavirus and stuff. But I find that there's never a wasted opportunity when you understand the opportunity you have at your disposal right now to grow as a person, And if you find that boredom, anxiety, depression, loneliness, and all these things are really killing you, reach out to somebody. Reach out to somebody and ask them for guidance. Reach out to somebody and ask different questions about things that you've always pondered: the universe, the planet. What is love? What is spirituality? How do I become more spiritual? How do I become a better person? How do I become stronger? How do I kick my addictions? How do I do this? This is the time, the perfect. I did 366 days in jail, okay? And during that time, I had one of the most powerful spiritual experiences I've ever had. I read more books than I've ever read in my life. I read probably about 45 books in jail. And I never read any books really before that. I read maybe one or two books, maybe 3 books, something like that. No, actually I've read more than that, but 3 or 4 books that really stuck with me before I went to jail. But when I was in jail, in isolation, I was in lockdown. When I was in county, I was isolated to a pod around all these gangsters and stuff. People with serious testosterone, anger issues, PTSD, all that stuff. And then put into 24/7, 23-hour lockdown, which is classification. And now you're not just with the county lockup guys. Now I'm in classification and I'm around really, really bad people, okay? But through isolation, my son's in the back. Hey, Uriah, shh, okay? Through isolation, I learned something about myself. I learned how strong I am as a person, how powerful I am spiritually, who I am, really, what I was meant for, right? And through being isolated in jail, I started coming up with different ideas. And one of those ideas was to be financially free, to be an internet marketer. I came up with an amazing idea. Now, I suffered for about 3-4 years before it finally became what it was supposed to be, me today. But, for 2008 when I got out of jail, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start my business. And I started my business, and I failed for 3.5 years. I failed miserably, and it was tough. I was gonna quit so many times, but through isolation, I realized something about myself. Through jail, I realized something about myself, that my mind is the most powerful weapon, the most powerful tool that you have as a human being. And your mind and your heart is connected to this entire universe. This body, this vessel that we have, it's just a vehicle, And unfortunately, some of us, even me, when I was a severe alcoholic and doing drugs too, I was poisoning myself constantly, and so my spirituality and who I wasn't growing at an exponential rate. I was growing very slow, but I started making the sacrifices. I started asking the right questions. I started realizing how important my freedom is. I started realizing how important it was for me to use my mind more and ask the questions and seek the answers. Seek the answers. And so while we're self-isolating on the planet right now, the entire world is self-isolating. Wow. That's pretty fucking crazy, don't you think? Because never, ever on this planet's history have we ever did that before. Never on this planet's history have we ever sat back and said, you know what? We're going to do something for something else other than ourselves. The selfish human beings that we've been this entire time. And planet Earth is healing right now. It doesn't matter the conspiracies and all that. Trust me, I'm deep into the conspiracies. It doesn't matter what's going on. But planet Earth is healing. And while planet Earth is healing, you should be healing too. And you need to keep asking those questions and seeking those answers, because there's people out there who have the answers. And there's things you can read, and there's practice, meditation. You should be learning how to meditate right now. I meditate almost every day. I spend 10 to 15 minutes before I sleep, and when I wake up, and I'm just deep in nothingness. I'm not thinking about thoughts. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just still, and I'm quiet, and I'm breathing, Remember to breathe deep, okay? Take a deep breath. Take your time. Ask the questions and grow, okay? And if you have somebody to grow with, if you have somebody that wants to grow with you, grow, okay? Now is the perfect time to grow while the earth is healing. Peace.